if there was going to be one more day where somebody around me was going to be like, hear what, Mom? I don't hear anything. Hi, y'all. Welcome to today's video. Welcome to my channel. Hi, I'm FASHFAB. You can call me Fash. This is Sally. Boy, do I have a story for you. I don't think anybody's going to believe me. I've got proof. Y'all, on this channel, we create beauty one palette at a time. Grab your brushes, grab your palettes. Let's get into it. The palette that I'm using today by my favorite brand, NOMAD. Here's the Ghost Town USA, and here's the cover. Now, when I open this, don't freak out, because you know I do have a backup. I do have a backup. Sure do. Here's the color story. So those of you that don't know what you're looking at, all of this silver in the middle of all this color, yeah, that's all pan. That means the eyeshadow's almost gone. Yeah, this bad boy has seen lots of love. It's very near and dear to my heart. I'm just saying, if I was a palette and I was single, I would marry this palette. Anywhoosies, let's get into the story time, because let me tell you, for the record, I just want to say that I am so glad that I'm sitting here, because I thought I was going to have to commit myself to the loony bin. I legitimately thought I was crazy. I did. Just to start you off, I live in an old church. Now, when I say that, most people think of church as in, like, church nowadays, like with the great room. No. Think of church from the 1920s. It's a church. It's a fairly good-sized church, but it's not the size of the church these days. This church, I would say, was maximum 2 rooms-ish. It did have a basement, and that's where the classrooms were. So, that's just to set it off. So when we moved in here, it was already converted from a church to a house. I remember, like, the first night-ish that we had been in the house. It had to have been the first week. And I remember laying in bed and telling my husband, like, I could tell he was still awake. So I'm laying in bed, and he's laying there, and I could tell he's trying to go to sleep, but he couldn't. I said, what's the matter? You can't sleep? And he says, yeah, just, you know, new surroundings. And, you know, me being me, which is a huge jokester, prankster, you know, just to watch him squirm kind of thing. But I said, can you imagine all of the weddings, baptisms, and funerals that have happened in here before it came a house? And it got dead quiet. Like, he was super aggravated, because he's like, you could have gone our whole lives and not just said that to me. Really? So, fast forward, I honestly believe that this is payback for what I said. So on the other side of this wall behind me, yes, that wall, right there, yeah, is a bathroom, a restroom, but there's also like a little cubby kind of thing where hot water heater, you know, all the things. Why it's there, I don't know. I didn't do the organization, whatever, of this house, but whatever. So I am sitting here filming a video. No, not this video. I had to scratch that video. Anyway, That's besides the point. So I'm sitting here and I'm filming this video and I hear the most god-awful noise. And I'm beginning to wonder, I'm the only one in the house. So I'm the only one that can hear this at this point. And it literally lasted maybe 5 minutes. So I unfreeze myself, turn off the camera, and start going towards the noise. Well, every time I would get up and go towards the noise, you know, open a door, you know, anything on back of that hallway, it would stop. Just stop. And I'd stand there. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And I'm thinking, okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for playing tricks on people, but this isn't funny anymore. I'm by myself. I know what I'm hearing. Stop it. Stop it. Go in the restroom, stand there, and at this point, I have literally wasted 45 minutes. Nothing. Not a sound. Nothing. So I go about my business. I come out here. A couple hours goes by, and I'm going, okay, maybe, you know, it was a fluke thing, because there's also a window in that bathroom too, to the outside. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe it was a car driving by. You know, maybe it was a fluke thing. I don't know. So I just kind of went about my day. That was probably maybe 1:30 in the afternoon. Well, my son, my youngest, is upstairs watching TV. My husband is in the basement watching TV. I'm sitting in this room and I'm just jibber-jabbering away trying to refilm this video from earlier. Now, time. Keep track of time. At this point, 5:30, 6 o'clock in the evening, and I really wanted to get this video done before it got dark. And the noise starts again. And this time it was louder. So I stopped everything. And I yelled at my son, who I know can hear me before my husband can in the basement. I said, "Can you hear that?" And he said, "No, Mom, hear what? What is wrong with you?" Because you can literally hear, like, this wall is going to cave in. And you can't hear that. His response was, "Hear what, Mom?" So I go downstairs. I get my husband. I make him come up here. He's standing in my beauty room. By this time, since I've heard the noise, it's been 15-20 minutes. So I said, "I want you to stand here. I have to finish this video because I need to start editing this. But I hear this noise. Our son says he can't hear it. I don't know how he can't. I know that I'm not going crazy. But when it happens again, somebody else is going to hear it besides me." So I made him stand there, just on the other side of this camera. So I turned the camera back on. By this point, it has been 10 minutes. Where's my husband, you ask? Still standing there. This sound happens again. He stopped. I stopped. Turned off the camera. And he's looking at me. So I mouthed the words, "Do you hear that?" And there was this pause. And I was like, if that man says he cannot hear that, heads are going to roll. Because I know somebody can hear that besides me. And he says, "Yes, I can hear that." And I said, "WTF is it?" So he goes one direction, that way. I go this way, because I know for a fact it's coming from behind this wall. And he's listening, and he's walking really slow. I'm listening. I'm walking really slow. Well, at this point, I'm mad. Because here I am having to probably re-record that video all over again. This would now be the 3rd time I'm recording this video. So I'm to the point where I am bound and determined I'm totally okay with scratching the whole idea. The noise comes again. So at this point, I was like, okay. So I knew that if I had to tear down this wall behind me, it was coming down. Something was going to give. I didn't care if you were going to see toilets, sinks, showers, whatever the case may be behind me. But if there was something in that wall was coming down. So on my way back, down the hallway, I turned on my phone. I started recording. Because I'm like, I know it's coming from behind this wall. By this point, I am in the nook that's in the bathroom, peeking through, looking at the hot water heater. So here's the recording. So I hear that. It's still not clicking in my head. I scream at my husband. It's doing it again. He goes, I know, I'm coming. I hear it. He comes around the corner. The noise comes again. He looked straight at me, dead in the eye, and he said, that's a woodpecker. What? Why in the hell of it is there a woodpecker in the pipe that comes out of the ceiling vent for the hot water heater? What? And then you hear this teeny tiny chirp, 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 chirp. Well, let me put it this way. I told my husband, get it out now, because I'll be damned if I'm going to go to the loony bin over Woody, the woodpecker. And I don't mean the one in your pants, sir. Get it out of my house right now. I was unaware that at the top of that part of the house that slopes way down, there's a vent where the hot water heater comes out of. So my husband, the sweet peach he is, gets up there, looks in this vent thingy, and there's supposed to be a screen. Well, there was no screen. Well, we live in Kansas. So at some point, this screen in between the roof and the vent magically disappeared. Everything is still standing. Everything is still alive. Your girl almost lost her ever mother loving mind to a woodpecker. How could you not hear a woodpecker pounding its pecker against tin every millisecond? How can somebody not hear that? Why is it just me that heard that? I am still here, and Woody didn't get his way. I'm going to go about my day. I'm going to bake some sourdough bread, and Sally and I will see you tomorrow. Like, subscribe, share, click that notification bell down there to let you know next time I upload. I hope you guys are having an awesome, amazing day. Go out and do something kind for somebody. And Sally and I will see you in our next video. Toodles! Sally, are you serious? I mean, Woody the woodpecker, that is a whole new version of cleaning pipes if there ever was one.